Work is underway to fix the Caroline Avenue underpass, but 4 homeowners are still on the street.
A huge retaining wall collapsed on December 13th, and 4 homes on Caroline are still without water, gas, and power. And those residents are ready to sleep in their own homes. Local 12's Joe Webb was back on Caroline Avenue today. He joins us from the newsroom with the latest. Joe?
Well, Cammie, the latest is that crews are on the scene and they're busy and they're making progress. But they've been hampered by the snow and the bitter cold, so the work is taking a lot longer than they'd first hoped. The homeowners aren't losing patience, they've lost patience.
Off and on we come down. We come down when the lady next door got broke into.
Peggy Owings lived at 3407 Caroline for 71 years, until December 13th when the wall collapse took most of her front yard and forced her out. Today, she came back to check on the progress. Crews were busy putting in steel pilings and pouring concrete, but a temporary wall is a long way from being finished.
The weather they're working in, they have my sympathy. But my sympathy is with me. I want to get back in my home.
Owings was originally told she would be out of her home a couple of weeks. That turned into a month, and it's now closer to 2 months. The city of Covington is spending between $200,000 and $300,000 to fix the wall and bypass the bidding process to speed things up.
The city's goal to have the citizens and residents back in their home February 8th. That is not a hard date, but that is the city's goal.
Peggy Owings is living with a niece and nephew in Petersburg. Her tenant next door is renting from her attorney. Others are staying with family members. The Red Cross provided housing for a couple of days, but other than that, the displaced residents have been on their own. They want help, but the question is who would pay? The city says it's not its fault the wall collapsed. It's on their right-of-way, but contractors were doing repair work on the street when something broke a water main and the wall fell.
Right now they're still in the mode of pointing fingers at each other. This is all they're doing. Nobody will step up and claim any kind of responsibility.
But Peggy Owings doesn't care whose fault it is. She just knows it's not hers.
I think it's a disgrace to the city of Covington and anybody that's involved in Covington with the people that pay gas, electric, water, sanitation, taxes, that somebody didn't open the front door and say, hey, we got 4 people out here on the street, no place to go, can we offer them something?
Now, Peggy Owings owns 2 of the homes on Caroline. She rents one of them, and it was her tenant's house that was broken into earlier this week and ransacked. They aren't sure if anything was taken, but it's just added insult to injury. Now, the residents are not only worried about the housing costs that they've incurred and lost food, what they're really worried about is what kind of shape their homes will be in after sitting through these sub-zero temperatures like we've seen all month. Cammie?
Boy, your heart really goes out to them, Joe. Have they given them an idea of how much longer it's going to be?
Well, like he said in the story, they hope to have everything done by next weekend, but they really don't know. So much of it's dependent upon the weather, and they're doing what they can. It just, these sort of things take time. I mean, that was a big wall that collapsed. You can't fix it and make those yards safe in a couple of days.
Yeah, especially with the weather we've had,
Right.
Joe. Joe, thank you. The city of Covington says the best case scenario is that they'll get a temporary wall finished by next Friday, and once again, when that is complete, Duke Energy can then come in and set temporary poles and turn on the electricity to the 4 homes. The city engineer says the rain in the forecast, though, could slow things down once again.